Individuals with intellectual disability can participate in all aspects of the research process. Unfortunately, they are often excluded from research in post-secondary settings. As a consequence, we know little about the experiences individuals with intellectual disability have in post-secondary settings. I'm Alexandra Lauterbach, an assistant professor of special education and a research affiliate of the Center for Student Success Research at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. In this brief informational video, part of a project funded by the Massachusetts Department of Higher Education, I will share with you how we developed inclusive instrumentation to support individuals with intellectual disability to participate in our project. I will also share some methodological insights for others interested in this work. Individuals with intellectual disability can participate in all aspects of the research process. Unfortunately, they are often excluded from research in post-secondary settings. As a consequence, we know little about the experiences individuals with intellectual disability have in post-secondary settings. I'm Alexandra Lauterbach, an assistant professor of special education and a research affiliate of the Center for Student Success Research at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. In this brief informational video, part of a project funded by the Massachusetts Department of Higher Education, I will share with you how we developed inclusive instrumentation to support individuals with intellectual disability to participate in our project. I will also share some methodological insights for others interested in this work. In this project, we are conducting a multi-institutional case study of the college-going experiences and the in-college experiences of students with disabilities in Massachusetts. By college-going and in-college experiences, we mean the experience of searching for and collecting information about colleges, applying for and selecting a college to attend, transitioning to college, and the experience of being in college, both academic and social. Our study includes both students with intellectual disability, students with other disabilities, and students without disabilities. For students with disabilities other than intellectual disabilities, we are administering an online survey and conducting qualitative interviews. The online survey asks participants to respond, indicating the extent they agree or disagree, ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree, with particular statements. For example, I receive support on personal issues from faculty. We are also interviewing students about their experiences, asking questions like, if you had to summarize how enjoyable your time at this institution has been, how would you describe it? To achieve a more accessible and equitable research design, we realized we needed to create both qualitative interviews and survey protocols that could be used for participants with the full spectrum of disability, rather than only participants able to engage with the online survey and interviews as originally designed. We wanted to be respectful of the fact that not everybody with an intellectual disability has the same strengths and weaknesses, and for participants to participate in the way best for them. We also wanted to be able to make comparisons with our standard interview and survey protocols that we were administering to the broader population of students with disabilities. Thus, for participants with intellectual disability, we developed an adapted interview protocol that parallels the online survey and interviews, considering the degree of abstract thinking required to answer questions, scaffolds questions to support participants, and provides multiple means to engage and respond to questions. The first step in creating the parallel protocol was to identify what the big ideas were in both the survey and the interview. Here are two examples, one from the survey and one from the qualitative interview. In the survey item, we were interested in whether students experienced support and from whom they received support. In the interview item, we were interested in how students are spending their time on campus, meaning what experiences do they have access to. We then drafted the adapted protocol around these big ideas. To ensure these ideas were present in our adapted protocol after revisions, we did a crosswalk of the big ideas in the three protocols, double-checking we had maintained the parallel concepts in the revision. As you can see from the example questions in the adapted protocol, each question parallels the big ideas both in the interview and the survey. We modified the question language from the interviews and the surveys, considering the degree of abstract thinking needed to answer the question within and across questions, and how we might scaffold the questions to support participants in this increasing abstractness. For example, to address the big idea of support in the survey, we asked the participant to indicate the extent they agree or disagree to 4 statements about support by selecting strongly agree, disagree, or strongly disagree. This provides 4 potential responses for 4 statements, which is a total of 16 potential responses for the participant to select from. In the adapted interview, we also have a set of items about support, but they build in terms of the abstract thinking needed. We first ask the participant to indicate if they react with a yes or no to the statement, which aligns with the positive or negative reaction from a participant in the survey, but decreases the number of potential responses to 2. Furthermore, yes and no are more concrete concepts than strongly agree or strongly disagree. We then restate their response, another scaffolding strategy to provide them support, and ask them, would you say a lot or a little, offering them 2 more potential responses. This aligns with the extent or strength of their response. We followed each of these questions with 1 more open-ended question. Tell me more about that. This offers the participant the opportunity to elaborate. To further scaffold their response, we also include alternate wording with decreasing abstractness. For example, we suggest that the interviewer be specific with the content, who, or the timing, asking, do students at this college help you when you have a problem in class? Finally, we asked an additional open-ended question related to the big idea for the participants who did not need as much scaffolding. For example, what is your favorite thing to do at the college? Which aligns with the types of experiences participants have access to in the interview. We also wanted to give our participants the opportunity to engage and respond in multiple ways. For the yes-no questions, we settled on a green thumbs up and a red thumbs down for yes and no, thinking thumbs up, thumbs down was a culturally relevant reference to positive and negative, and the green and red were a culturally relevant reference to stop and go. We also have the words yes on the green thumbs up and no written on the red thumbs down. Initially, we considered a smiling or frowning face, or a thumbs up that changed in size to represent a lot or a little, both of which were discarded because we thought they required too much inference on the participant's part. Participants can read yes, no, listen to the interviewer read the words, or see the green thumbs up or red thumbs down. To answer, they can point to their response, gesture their response, gaze at their response, or they can speak their response. As you can see from our project, it is very possible to include individuals with intellectual disability in research in post-secondary settings and beyond. It is important to consider what the big ideas are in your project, how much abstract thinking your questions require, how you can support your participants to answer questions with scaffolding strategies, and how you can provide multiple means of engagement and response to some, if not all, of the questions. I would like to end with a few recommendations for those of you interested in including students with intellectual disability in your research. You should consider the following questions. First, do you have somebody on your research team who has experience working with individuals with intellectual disability? A director of a post-secondary program for students with intellectual disability provided feedback on our adapted protocol, which was invaluable to the protocol development. Second, do you have a person with intellectual disability on your research team, or can you pilot your instrumentation with individuals with intellectual disability? Again, this will provide feedback or information that can be invaluable to the protocol development. Third, how are you supporting participants to provide consent? The approach to the consent process and implicit assumptions about intellectual disability can impact a participant's rights. Our hope is that by creating an adapted interview protocol, we developed a more inclusive instrument that supports people with intellectual disability to participate in our research project. As a research team, our goal is to have an accessible and equitable research design. Including students with intellectual disability in research on students in post-secondary settings can help us better understand what it is like to be a student with an intellectual disability in college. This knowledge is foundational if we want to improve students' access to the experiences they want and the experiences that can have the most impact on their lives. Please check out our other videos in this series and feel free to contact us at the Center for Student Success Research or visit us at studentsuccessresearch.org.